Sattler Files. You're with the Sattler Files. I'm Murray Korff, and with me is Neil Royle, retired Inspector Neil Royle, and we talk about all sorts of things that are, controversial and
of interest.
Of interest, yes.
Or this to us, anyway.
That's right. Now, I want to raise a subject with you. I was at the airport on whatever day it was, on Sunday morning, and the traffic was absolutely chaotic, and people were double parking on the Tonkin Highway and just stopping where they felt appropriate. Few people were blocking crash access for the fire engines and all of that sort of stuff.
The Antonov syndrome?
It was, yes, definitely the Antonov syndrome. And I was just wondering, there was a few guys on motorcycles over there, and police, rushing up and down, but there were so many transgressors, not one ticket was issued that I saw anyway.
The risk they take, of course, in those situations when they have traffic control duties to do, if they get stuck with a person and they've got to take him away, that's one less to do what's supposed to happen. Yeah. And their mission would have been, you guys get this traffic unplugged and get it flowing. That's what would have been their mission. Yeah. So, and a bit of a lost cause if there's nowhere to go, if it's all gridlocked and so forth.
Absolutely gridlocked. Yeah,
and people get this don't care attitude, as we've spoken about in times gone by, where they want to see it, so they'll just stop and get out. Hearken to those poor couple who are trying to catch their flight to get to their wedding. And I saw footage of those on TV where they actually walked 3 k's through the traffic to get to the airport.
They did. I saw them.
That was terrible.
I saw them.
That's terrible. And you'd be banging on bonnets of cars as you're going past, wouldn't you, with a house brick or something? So,
yeah, absolutely.
And yes, the airport came out the day before and said there might be a bit of congestion tomorrow with the Antonov coming in. So just make allowances for it, leave early, do all the rest, that hoo-ha, and we'll have things in place. Well, then it might have been in place on airport property, but they can't put it in place anywhere else. No. And that's where it becomes the old chock-a-block out there. And it was. It was
absolutely chaotic. There was a few things. I mean, leave aside the parking and the blocking of traffic and all that sort of stuff, but a few really silly people parked across the crash access for fire tenders and stuff.
Well done,
like
hey. And people don't care.
It's just ridiculous. If that very large fire tender came out intent on getting to a crash, it would just have gone over them, and it was just stupidity in a major way. It really was. We all wanted to see it, but we parked somewhere in South Belmont, I think.
I figured you'd be there. I thought you'd be there.
We walked about 3 k's to get to a point where we could actually watch it. Our car was parked elsewhere, and it was just stupid. It was really ridiculous, and I can't believe that people would be that inconsiderate and not see danger or the prospect of something really bad happening.
They have a track record in this state that goes back years and years and years and years. And I'll cite, for example, the Australia Day fireworks thingo. Yep. Historically, and for many years, the police had to have a presence on the Narrows Bridge because people would just stop their cars on the Narrows Bridge and lean on the railing and get out of their cars and take photographs of all the fireworks. Just stop on the freeway. Oh. And they put police in there to do various things and so forth, and we spent time running from one end of the bridge to the other because they were still stopping on the bridge away from where we were. Yeah. And then to compound the problem, taxi drivers were pulling up as well and letting people off on the bridge. On the bridge. Eh? And, of course, when you speak to the taxi driver and say, is this normal fare for you to do this? Well, no, it's Skyworks.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
It's like an Uber thing, doesn't it? I'll just give you a $200 ticket for your Skyworks indiscretion parking on the bridge there and obstructing traffic and disobeying a pointsman and all the rest of it. So, yes, it doesn't surprise me in the least that they park across streets and fire access roads and everything else. Well, heaven forbid had something occurred on the landing of that aircraft. No one would have got through anywhere.
No, they wouldn't.
All the airport facility would be used up, and they need extras from elsewhere. Yep. Then, of course, the opposite occurs. All those who were there would want to be out. Yes. So there you got this going back. Oh no, hate to think. They need to get that squared away better than that.
The next time they really do, because look, it's unlikely to happen again. But who knows? I mean, an unusual aeroplane could come in again, or whatever. There could be some dignitary coming there who wants to see.
When the Queen arrived for Choggum a few years back, I don't recall any of that congestion for her. Mind you, she's quite popular, but not as popular as the Antonov.
No, well, that's it. But it was.
She mightn't come back again like the Antonov. Who knows?
No, but the best laid plans. My friend and I got to the end of the runway, the north-south runway on the southern end of it, and all the planes were landing that way, and we thought this is going to be an outstanding vantage point for us to watch this, and about 20 minutes before it landed, they changed runway direction and they started landing from the other end, and we didn't see it. We saw it taxi past us, but that was it. We didn't see the landing. We didn't see it in the air.
Because, as you say, up to 20 minutes prior to landing, everything on your Facebook and everything else said coming in from the south.
Yeah, that's right.
And I thought, oh, you beaut. I live in Canning Vale. It's going to go whoop across
right over the
my
top
house.
of you.
Like some big belly shots of it going over my house. But no, didn't happen. And I
didn't
thought,
happen. Landed into the south.
And even when it left, which way did it go? Didn't go over my house again.
No, well, it took off to the north. So we were screwed whichever way.
I would have thought the Prime Minister would have made himself plenty of votes if he'd given the old Antonov a bit of a ring while they're in the air and say, why not do a lap of the metro area and then come in?
A lot of discussion about that around the people that we were talking to there. They said, why don't they just do a low pass first, do a lap of the city and come back in? I mean, that would have made a lot of sense.
They've done it on other huge aircraft, have they not, to give people a look at it?
Yeah.
In Sydney especially have done that.
Yeah, the B-52 did one here not so long ago.
Yep, I thought that would be a good idea. We could all wave.
That's right.
Except those people north of the river, dare I speak about them, and those folk north of the river, they got a big look and we got nothing down here. Never mind. I thought it might be the old pilots on the old vodka again. They missed a wrong turn off. They landed on Horward Drive. Oh, no, what's happened?
No, I think all they wanted was to get on the ground so they could have some vodka.
I think so. And is that right, they change the tyres after every landing?
No.
It wouldn't be, would it? I know there's a lot of smoke and come off those 32 tyres that they're underneath it.
That's right, yeah.
They've got some flat spots, I'd suggest.
Well, yes. Pretty impressive aeroplane, 640 tonnes maximum takeoff weight. It was carrying a generator that was 120 tonnes.
So when they say it's the biggest aircraft, it wasn't the Spruce Goose bigger than that?
Yeah, but it was. Well, I'm not sure. That's an interesting point. I don't think so.
We're talking about the Howard Hughes built wooden aircraft, nicknamed the Spruce Goose because it was mainly made of wood. But that was a huge thing. And it had one flight, I think, didn't it? Only one?
Yes, and it got to about 18 feet. So it didn't go anywhere. Just lifted off the water and flopped back down again.
And that was the end of that.
That's right. And this thing takes 4 hours to refuel. How'd you like to be paying to fill that up? You'd need a heavy-duty credit card, wouldn't you?
Well, you do. Well, especially when you consider that... it
doesn't run on vodka either.
500 mils of bottled water cost you $4.60. 500 mils of petrol. Who would have thought in this day and age that you're paying 10 times the amount for water that you would? But they wouldn't much water in that aircraft. Let's get to go with the vodka.
I got to tell you, they showed Channel 7. I mean, I've got to cover this in our media segment, but Channel 7 did an amazing job of covering the arrival of that, and they did show a shot of the inside of the thing, and I've got to tell you, some of the instrumentation and flight stuff was very basic, very,
It's an old aircraft.
Oh, God, yes.
It's an old aircraft.
Extraordinarily old.
Built prior to the demise of the communist regime from communist Russia to Russia as it is, and then rejuvenated, regenerated. After that regime, it all changed.
Yeah.
And it was a very good PR move.
Oh, yes.
Very good PR
move. Excellent.
It gets to fly once a year or twice a year or something or other, but
I wouldn't have liked to have paid the bill to bring that generator here. That would take your breath away, I think.
And it went to a colliery, did it not?
It went to Worsley Alumina.
That's right. Well,
I think obviously someone's had a moment down there and busted something, so they've had to bring this generator in, toot sweet.
And let's not go and put it on a ship because that would take too long.
Yeah.
It won't attract anywhere near the same attention.
No.
Let's get it on this big aircraft and bring it here.
That's right.
No one buys aluminium saucepans anymore anyway because they're all made of steel. So everything else made of aluminium is going to cost more.
But that again,
no doubt.
Then again, it's an amazing aeroplane.
It is indeed. Yes, beautiful.
Took my
very
breath
impressive.
away. It really did.
Yep.
And the story goes that there was a bit of a competition between the Russians and the Americans for who has the biggest aeroplane, and the Americans gave up with the C-5 Galaxy, and the Russians built this thing, and the Americans haven't answered it. So there you go.
It's called super aircraft
bigger
waving.
Than yours.
As we know.
Yeah, that's right.
Beautiful.
Now, moving on to other things, I mean, this is police related as well, of course, with
it's a law and order issue.
Lisa Harvey.
Oh, Lisa Harvey, lovely lady that she is. Lisa's come out in the Sunday papers and said that she's going to, because a fair bit of criticism with the number of deaths on the roads, and rightly so. 71 lives to date, not counting whatever was happened yesterday, since January 1, and 52 of them on country roads. So the government's getting bashed up about the road toll and the fact that they've got lots and lots of dollars in the Road Trauma Trust account, which is money generated from speed and red light cameras.
Yep.
And ostensibly it goes into this account to be put back into road safety. And that's fine, as it should do. And they'd be getting bashed up about it. So government's come out and said they're going to slap in $145 million to tackle the road toll. That's what the headline says. To make our roads safer. And that's fine. I thought, oh, wow, this is really good. Because I have, not you, me, banging on about enforcement and high visibility patrolling and contact with the motoring public and having the police out there enforcing the laws, etc. So I scanned eagerly and hungrily at this publication about where this money's going to go. So 65 million out of the 145, that's a bit of a chunk. 65 million will go on overtaking lanes, rope barriers, audible line edging, and road widening in the regions. I'm going, yes, I'm with this. That's good. That's good. Because, as we all know, drivers don't kill drivers, roads kill drivers. So let's get that bit done. So that's good. So because they had 100 million sitting around idly, in inverted commas, in the Road Traffic Trust account, people are saying, well, how come you got this 100 mil sitting there and every 2 days someone gets knocked off on our roads? Why don't you spend some of that to sort of curb this alarming and disgraceful road toll? So off they went. They've spent most of it, and about 30 million left in the Road Trauma Trust account, which, as I said, this comes up from speed and red light cameras. So a road blitz is to be expected, I'm told. An enforcement blitz. I thought, you beauty, here we go. I'm asking for this, and I'm sort of hoping it comes about. 14 million spent on more speed and red light cameras. And 5.5 million for extra roadside drug and alcohol testing. And there's also a funding for a trial of point-to-point cameras on 30 k's worth of forest highway. This is when tears start welling in my eyes, because I'm waiting to hear about, and we're going to increase the number of motorcycle patrols and car patrols and this, that, and country patrols and overnight patrols and enforce. I'm waiting to read it, and it's still not there. And then we've got 2 million sitting around in the bottom drawer. We'll spend that on the state's first alcohol interlock system for serious and repeat drink drivers, which will begin in October. And about 600,000 that will go to fund the worst cases who will go to council and so forth. So there's $20 million for key metropolitan intersection upgrades, $12 million to complete the state's flashing 40k school zone sign project, and $7.8 million to fund recommendations from the Wheatbelt Highway Safety Review. They're going to fix the Stoneville-Lilydale Road, the intersection of 2J Road, and $2.8 million further out for that one, and $12 million will be spent on passing lanes on the Grayson Highway. Is this a main roads budget here I'm reading about, or is this a government plans to record spend to make our roads safer? There's no getting away from the fact that substandard roads don't help when it comes to driving. But with the best roads in the universe, I would broach Forest and Kwinana and Mitchell freeways. Lots of folk get killed on those roads, and they're the best roads you can probably ever come across.
Yes, indeed.
So roads don't kill drivers. Bad drivers kill drivers, and inattentive drivers kill drivers, and drivers who aren't being made to toe the line when it comes to the rules of the road. And so, they're going to put a booze bus out in a couple of places there. But other than that, point-to-point speed cameras, another one, more red and speed light cameras, some more of those. How many times do we say on this wonderful program that those are the sort of speed and red light cameras aren't the main issue. Speed is certainly an issue. People going through red lights is certainly an issue. But that's 2 of about 3,000 issues that are on the roads at the moment when it comes to drivers doing the wrong thing and killing each other.
Yeah.
So
they got it wrong.
Oh, well, I would have thought, just a 2-page thingo, and we spent 105 minutes to tackle the road. But it is a main roads upgrade. Where's the main roads budget? What are they going to spend theirs on?
Yeah.
New helmets for the motorcycle coppers. Who knows? So far be it for me to be ultra critical of what government does with money that they get from people who do errant things on our roads. But all those bods in regional way rub their hands, go, you better getting this road upgrade and got line markings, you've got ripple strips and got this, that and the other. Next time you're saying, let's take down all the trees within 20 metres of the road surface because those mongrel trees kill people as well.
Yeah, they do.
So that's next. So we'll do that as well. And that won't come out of the Agriculture Department budget. That'll come out of road safety, I would have thought. Let's move on to something else because I'm getting very, very upset about this.
Yes, I can see the steam starting to expel from your ears.
Where's the 10 million to put coppers on overtime and send them to the far reaches of Western Australia to enforce the road traffic rules? Where are they? Where is it? Yeah. Do I got to shell this out? Never mind.
No, it's a great shame because they say, however, when they were budgeting for some more speed cameras, that's multinovas, I guess, that they were going to put a lot more of them into the country areas. Was that part? Did I see that on television? Maybe I saw it on TV.
They haven't said where.
Yeah, but there are more multinovas in there, aren't there?
Oh yes, indeed. More multinovas a brand name, young Murray.
Yes,
so
all right. Speed cameras,
right. Yeah, because it's like is that a pen or is it a biro?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just being pedantic here because that's what we used to tell on days gone by. But the yes, and they were banging on about point-to-point speed monitoring ages ago.
Well, it's quite prevalent on the Hume Highway in the eastern states.
But they're cameras as well, obviously.
Of course they are.
And the pundits that sat around and said, if you stick one up on the freeway between they've got to go on overpasses or fixed spots on the ground. And overpasses is the general thing. So you put one up at the Pagoda on South Perth and stick another one near Canning Bridge. And so as you go through the Pagoda one, it goes click, and then when you go to the one at Canning Bridge, it goes click again, then it goes and mathematically works out how fast you're going. Good. So you get down to Forest Highway and you put them 30 k's apart or something or other. So you go through the first one at wherever it is, click. Then 15 k's later, you stop and go to the toilet. Then you might have a cuppa. Then get back in your car. And then at 225 kilometres an hour, get down to the next one. And it goes click. And this guy, they send you out to give you a ticket for travelling too slow on the highway.
Yeah.
So, point to point, wonderful stuff. Get out there and patrol. The patrolman will do your point to point all you like.
Okay, what's the objection? I mean, they're not doing it, so clearly...
They haven't got enough for a start. There's not enough coppers out there.
No, that's right.
What part of the problem is.
To do that, we'd have to get more coppers, more cars, and obviously all the attendant bits and pieces, fuel and maintenance and all that sort of stuff.
Would there be then a lobby then to set up a separate highway patrol enforcement body separate from the police? If the police numbers are finite, that'll never work. No. If the police numbers are finite and they don't want to increase the number of police officers, because historically and traditionally governments don't, because if you increase police numbers, it's generally an indication you're admitting you've lost control of law and order, and neither side will do that.
No.
So the numbers are pretty finite, even though the population will increase and all the rest of it there, and they'll use their personnel smarter and wiser, etc., and spread them real thin. That's what they do. So if they took 200 out of the police force who are currently the traffic coppers, took 200 or 500 out and put them into a high patrol body and funded it separately as well with some more, then they can replace those 500 to keep their numbers as they're supposed to be with new coppers who are they replace those guys that have gone, but they won't do any of the speeding and drink drivers and patrolling stuff. They'll be doing the breaking into houses and all that sort of stuff that the general duties coppers do. So then you have a separate body. And they had this years ago called the Road Traffic Authority.
So they did.
And that worked a treat.
Yeah.
A treat for a number of years. And it was introduced on the back of, guess what? A staggeringly alarming road toll in this state. That's what heralded the arrival of the Road Traffic Authority. And it was there, funded separately. They got the best road Nazis they could find and put them out in the road there. And guess what? When the RTA turned up into town, everyone ducked for cover because they weren't there looking to see who's pinching apples. They were there out there to get you if you weren't wearing your seatbelt, if you've got a boggy car, if you haven't got your kids strapped in, and all the rest of that stuff. And that's all they did. They looked for that sort of stuff. Yeah. So the wise motorists and the wise ones who are the most errant, they chose to stay up the roads while the traffic coppers were in town. That in itself solved a problem because those nuppies went out there driving around. No. So, but that sort of stuff they're funded separately, and the only part of the police department that actually makes money is the traffic branch. Guess what? Guess what?
Yeah, but they can make more money if they don't have coppers driving cars, can't they?
I think, and guess what? On the back of that, if they want to go another step further, give country traffic policing back to the regions. Give the Shire of Albany and the city of Bunbury and the city of Geraldton and give them back their traffic ranges. Those guys there, they took them away to join the RTA and they all got amalgamated back into the police force and all the rest of it there. And all the police in the country became multitasked. So guess what? Traffic was a third, fourth, fifth poor cousin. None got done.
I'll tell you something, and this is from my misspent youth. We never ever sped through Mundaring and we never ever sped through Wanneroo because the copper there, and I don't know whether he was a copper
traffic
or
inspectors,
traffic
they were.
Inspectors.
Yep.
They had reputations that they were always around there, and we always knew that if you were going through Mundaring or in that general area, Sawyers Valley, that sort of thing.
Places like Green Bushes and those joint there, which is Green what? They had the biggest reputation of the...
They did.
If they pulled you up, it was not for a caution or a warning, it gives the old do-re-mi. And they had the best Gucci gear going. The first speed camera I ever saw was between Cunderdin and Tamman out on Grayson Highway. I was on patrol in my blue patrol car and I saw a bloke in a GT HO Phase 3 Falcon on the side of the road with something. I said, this bloke's got to pull up, and he had a handheld speed gun in his mitt. And I thought, oh, wow, just look at that. Yeah. So I did, and he was busy pinging them in and dragging them on. All this Gucci gear that he had. I had an S5 radar hanging off the side of my window, which is like a big sunshine milk tin, and that sort of you parked and you had to be stationary and all the rest. And he was... And ones that didn't stop, he going, you beauty, jump in his GTHA Phase 3 and go bavoopa down the highway and pull him up. Yeah. And the more he got and the more people he apprehended, the greater the Shire of Cunderdin and the Shire of Tamman loved them.
They did, yeah.
And they did a job and they served a purpose. And it may well be time to revisit that. I don't think that many councils will say, no, don't want that responsibility. Pigs, they won't.
Yeah, they'll leap at that, won't they?
Absolutely. They go ka-ching, ka-ching.
That's right.
And it serves a purpose to help where the coppers can't do it, get somebody who can.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we talk about fixed point speed cameras just a minute ago. And
point to point.
Point to point, that's right. Over the overpasses and one thing another, there was an anti-Islam banner with a Go Eagles hung over the overpass on Kwinana Freeway. Is that illegal?
What did it say? Go Eagles?
He had said that, but it was...
There'd be law against that for a start. But what did the banner say?
Stop the mosques.
Oh, they did it at that MCG, I think, and they tried once at Subiaco Oval Domain, whatever they call it, and now you got one on the overpass there. No.
Is it? I mean, who has responsibility for that sort of stuff? Is that the police or the Shire, or
it'd be a mixture of both? And the police would say it's a distraction, and but on the face of it, unless it's hanging over a sign, that's a speed sign, or hanging over a red light, or hanging over a stop sign, or interfering with those sorts of things, there, it's no different than happy 40th birthday, Ron.
Yeah, there used to be a lot of those. I don't see those much anymore.
Yeah, and then the only person who demanded it torn down was probably Ron.
That's right.
I said, the world know about this. Come on, get it. So, and there's no difference other than that. And what happens to the guys at the football ground? They don't get charged with anything. They get booted out. Yeah. And they probably get, if they're members of a club, they write to the club and say, can you ban, this guy's got a lifetime ban now unless he changes his ways. So I often wonder how they impose and enforce these lifetime bans. Yeah. When you've got 40,000 people going through the gate, just keep an eye out for Jim Spriggs. Watch out for him, he's a troublemaker. Okay, then.
I think it'd last a couple of weeks.
I reckon so. Then exactly. Unless someone says he's a member and he sits in his seat and someone says, didn't he get kicked out? Security, right. Security.
Yeah.
It's plenty of those.
Or if he boos Adam Goods. But anyway, moving right along. Talking about distractions on the freeway, the sign that was over near the Coburn station, that was an APN sign that was for advertising, and it was a very bright one, and there was a lot of protests and it got switched off. That's gone really quiet lately. Have you heard anything about that?
That cost them a lot of money too, those signs.
I would have thought. I was looking at that, and it's dark. There's nothing going on with it. Each time I go under that overpass, I think, good, somebody's shelling out big bucks for that.
Yeah, they did, and someone got a pat on the back for a good initiative, and now suddenly it's gone, oops, I unplugged that. And there's been nothing there for ages, has there?
There hasn't been, and I'm just. Have you heard anything about its progress or anything?
Nope, it died a death because someone said they were busy reading the sign, and maybe the Insurance Commissioner of Western Australia said, "Hey, there's too many rear-end vehicle people running in the back of cars reading the signs rather than watching where they're going." And I think that's a bit of a nothing argument anyway. There's plenty of things to distract you out there if you want to be distracted.
Yeah. I mean, there's another one up near Parliament House on the freeway on the right-hand side, and that's quite a large animated sign, so that could be a distraction. If you go out to Perth Airport or indeed either side, either the international or the domestic, there's big signs over the entry there, and that's a roundabout. So, I mean, you really need to keep your wits about you in a roundabout. The signs there, and nothing's been said about those.
Well, same as the freeway signs there, the message board signs there that say, warning, incident ahead, or road closed between this time and that time, and so forth. And you actually got to read all that while you're driving along. Yeah. Why are they any different?
Yeah, well, they're not really.
And some of these ladies that ride bicycles along the cycleways there beside the freeway, put a stop to that as well.
Yeah. Are they do-gooders, do you think? Do you think they have a valid case?
What, the ladies riding their bicycles on the cycleway down the freeway? Yeah, they're distracting drivers. No. Have they got a valid case? I think it's pretty thin.
You'd have to have some sort of evidence, surely, if you were going to...
What do you think? Unless you're... you can't have a television screen in your car which is visible to the driver.
No.
That's an offence. You can have them in your car so everyone else can see them.
Yep.
And the driver can... so that you can't do that because that's a distraction for the driver. I suppose if you had a screen up on the freeway which was showing something along the lines of a short ad or something or other, you drivers to look at it, and that would be, to my mind, no different than having a TV screen in your car. But they don't go for 30 minutes.
No, they don't.
They're not programs that, whatever it is. I can recall on motorcycle years ago up the freeway, there was a big block of cars in front of us who were going really, really slow. And as my side and I motorbikes got up beside them, a car in front of us had a porno movie going in his car, and others around were crunched him in beside him, travelling at the same speed, looking through the windows to see what he had. So, yeah, that was a bit different. So,
good Lord.
And that was a distraction, and that did got a lot of people in trouble.
Yes.
And embarrassed some others, but became a good giggle point around the crib room table when at the end of the shift and so forth. So when you come to, guess what we found some numpy doing today? So it doesn't take long. But the emphasis upon concentration, application to what you're doing when you're driving a motor car is very strong and very pertinent too. So, but you do also need to be aware what's happening around you. So there's lots of distractions from other cars, other people, pedestrians, traffic lights, signs, and weather conditions and wildlife and all the rest of it that you need to be keenly aware of to be able to look at, filter, and ignore. And when you can't do that, then you're distracted.
Yeah. My personal view is I cannot see anything wrong with it. I don't think it's all that much of a distraction. I mean, it's one sign that's not animated and doesn't move.
Exactly.
I mean, it just makes no sense to me. And when you look at all the other things that you can see going up the freeway, it's it's a nonsense. And it's just gone quiet. Dean Nolder, who at the time I think was the... he was something to do with it. I can't remember, Main Roads or something like that.
Transport,
that's right, yeah. He just turned it off and got plenty of plaudits for it, and I can give you the tip, it probably won't come back on again before the election.
No, unless it has some sort of electoral message. Then that'd be okay.
Oh, that'd be fine.
That'd be fine.
I think we might take a very quick break, and we'll come back with more in just a moment.
This is Sattler 5.
DevRite Homes, when you're looking for attention to detail and a uniquely designed home to suit all your needs. At DevRite Homes, we only build a limited number of homes per year, so we can truly focus on what you want out of a prestige home builder. We've continually won awards for excellence. with a record number of wins last year and the proud winner of the Australian Townhouse Villa of the Year. While we love building homes to suit each client, we pride ourselves on designing homes that take into account the special safety needs of some of our clients. If you have a dream, we can make it come true. Talk to Jay Mangano and find out more about DevWright Homes at www.devwright.com.au.
You need banking services of any type. Secure Force Protective Services run a cash and transit service here in Perth. From as little as $25, why risk your employees travelling to the bank when Secure Force can do it for you? Give us a call at 9440-5011.
You only ever want the best for your family, and no one understands this better than the caring ladies at Marina Perslow and Associates. That's why we offer Australia's leading prepaid funeral plan. It means your family won't be left with the added strain of organising your funeral, and everything will be taken care of, all the little details. Your family will have the support they need with a woman's touch and gentle understanding. So leave them with loving memories and leave the rest to us. Visit marinaperslowfunerals.com.au or phone 9388 1623.
I'm John Hughes. If you want a hassle-free, very enjoyable and happy experience when buying your next vehicle, come to me in Victoria Park. I personally train all my salespeople to be non-pushy, friendly and professional, and we always strive to provide first-class before and after-sales service to all of my customers. So choose your dealer before you choose your car. That's John Hughes in Victoria Park, your car buying destination. DL 6061.
This is the Sattler Files.
Welcome back to the Sattler Files. This is Murray Korff, and we're talking with Neil Royle about all sorts of things, and we might just have a look and see what's been happening with the footy.
With what?
The footy.
Let's keep this is a family-friendly program. You realise, Murray.
What I was going to bring up, however, was Jared Roughhead has got himself.
Yeah, that's terrible, poor fella.
I mean, that's just so unfair, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it is terrible, and. You know, when you think these guys it doesn't make a difference how fit and healthy you are, does it? Obviously. No. And what sort of peak physical condition you're in and so forth, it's just... No,
it can strike down anybody, can't it?
It's a rough deal, really is a rough deal.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, look, rough deal. He's an amazing player as well, but it just shows there's nobody exempt, is there?
Nope. Nope, unfortunately.
And it just reinforces the fact that you've got to be so careful and make sure that you do take precautions in the sun, because it can get anybody, and it's lethal, isn't it? It's just...
Well, yeah, I do, and I would think that, you know, people of my vintage, for example, when I was at primary school and high school and other things and playing sport, no one ever worried about it. Mm. You didn't wear zinc and you didn't wear blockout, didn't wear sunscreen, didn't wear hats half the time.
No.
And you spent hours and hours and hours standing out in the sun or down the beach and all the...
Indeed, you did.
You think, you know, what's waiting in the wings?
Yeah.
What's there in... dormant land waiting to be undormant.
Mm. What about the guys out on motorbike patrols with the police? Do they take any particular precautions? Because they're exposed to all the elements, aren't they?
Yep. There's only a small part of them. Well, now they've got full face helmets as well.
Right,
and they don't. Once upon a time, when I was on motorcycles in the summertime, you think, oh, thank God, summertime's here, because in the wintertime you had to wear a tunic, and in the wintertime you wore your short sleeves. Yeah. And a tie.
Yeah, and Great. A tie, is that right?
No leather coat, no nothing, just short sleeves.
Just a tie?
Always had a tie, yes, had to wear a tie.
Oh, my God.
It's dress standard in the police force in those days.
Yeah.
And you were great because you just riding around in the summertime in the breeze. The coolest person in town was the bloke on the police motorbike, because he was out there, beaut. And if you had to get off and do point duty for any amount of time, well, that's what you did. Yes, indeed, you put sunscreen on your arms if you're going to do those sorts of things. Other than that, no worries at all, just away you went. But in this day and age, they wear full protective gear on everything, and they're covered from top to bottom, all arms, all legs, your face, full face helmets, example. So there's none of them that's exposed to the elements until they take the helmet off.
Mm. Mm.
So,
but look, I mean, as far as sportsmen are concerned, and all the football teams and that sort of stuff, they're out in the open all the time, and they don't necessarily have sunscreen on, because they're rubbed down with oils and all sorts of things and massaged to keep
they
their
put
muscles.
Stuff on their hands so that it makes them sticky so they can grab the ball. Wouldn't put stuff on your hand and make it slippery so you can lose it. And cricketers, stand out a 5-day test at 100-degree heat. It can't be good for you.
No, it can't.
No, they've got hats and goodies and so forth on there, and they have drinks breaks and the rest, but you're still standing out in that heat.
Yeah.
And for those who are sitting there watching it, who aren't sitting in the shade, and you see lots of them there sitting there with their tank tops on and so forth there, and
big toughies.
Australia's never learned from this. They never learn.
They certainly don't.
They don't
but
learn.
I mean, once again, with someone of the profile of Jared Ruffhead, if I hope that his particular situation does wake up some people if we save one of them. I mean, it's just an awful, insidious thing.
It will wake up some, but unhappily, as we know, as we sit here, the message will never get through. There are always some. Always some.
Yeah, that's right.
But we wish him well.
Yeah. Talking about having the ball slip out of your hands, did you watch the Eagles game at Domain? Nobody could hang on to that ball.
The Eagles game, Domain. I think I was sorting my sock drawer at that time. I saw the first quarter, then I couldn't watch it anymore. Yeah. And I got die-hard Eagles people saying to me, "Yeah, if it hadn't rained, we'd have won by 200 points." Oh, I don't hear it. You're playing St Kilda.
Yeah, even I could win against them.
Well, I didn't hear them bragging about anything else.
No, but there's so many times they were slipping over, and I thought that they had spikes. They have something in their shoes.
I think even the commentators are saying that they'll be changing their shoes at quarter time.
I'll bet they will.
They go from moulded soles to something else.
But then nobody could pick the ball up. I mean, when you said they should put something sticky on their hands, they sure should, because they do. Well, they couldn't mark. They couldn't. A hand passer couldn't do anything. No, it was just a joke.
No, when you think it's a wet weather game, so you should be ready for that sort of stuff.
You should be ready for it.
And once upon a time, they were all, and it's died out to a certain degree, but the full forwards used to wear gloves for that very reason, and they were allowed to wear gloves.
Yeah, well, Quinton Lynch was a classic example of that, wasn't he?
Did he wear one or two? I can't remember.
He only wore one.
That's right, one.
On his right hand.
And they did the old golfer thing, like the golfers wear a glove, as you know, a glove, and then when they're putting, they take it off.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it, but they do. Quinton would have his on, and when he's kicking for goal, take it off and throw it towards the boundary fence.
Yeah.
I thought, it's brilliant. That's a bit of theatre there. Get out of it.
Well, I mean, it didn't do him a lot of good in many instances, did it?
No, half time he couldn't find his glove again. Because the opposition would stand on it and bury it into the ground and so forth and kick it over the fence.
Was it true? He used to have the nickname of Michael Jackson, but no, it wasn't, was it?
He's no glitter on his glove. It was just all black and so forth. And
yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, and moving on to the other game that took place, but unfortunately the Dockers still haven't opened their account on the league ladder, have they?
Dockers played 2 quarters of football. And
pretty good quarters, to be fair.
I was quite happy that they were really putting in and really going for it. And a lot of young players there doing their bits and pieces and so forth against the premiership side.
Indeed.
In colourful downtown Tasmania, where the dinner plate football ground and all the rest of it. And we always got to play down there.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but we do. But it's a 4 quarters game.
When it got to half time, I thought they're a chance, actually.
Yep. But then they go in half time, have a pie.
Yeah.
And a beer.
That's right.
And then sit around for a while.
We've got this one sewn up.
Watch Judge Judy, then out they go.
Yeah.
And like it starts with that. I don't want them to have half time anymore. Play your 100 minutes of football all the time. Just interchange lots.
Yeah,
don't knock off and go inside. Keep going.
Something happens when they go in there, doesn't it?
It does happen. It's something.
Because they were ahead, what was it, about 2 points or something?
Yeah, they were 8 points. And then someone did something dopey and gave somebody a free kick right in front of goals. Yeah. And ended up being a 2-point thing.
To hell in a handbag from there, didn't it?
Oh, it did too, unfortunately. But never mind.
There's always next week, isn't there?
No, it's called This Week, Murray.
This week, well, whatever.
Yes.
Maybe. Could well be.
Up there, then we'll see what happens.
Indeed.
I'll do my crying in the rain. It's going to rain on Saturday. Song title.
Actually, yeah, you'd take a lightning rod with you too, because it's supposed to be storms. So.
It's going to be, there'll be storms, all right, once we get out there.
Oh, I'm shaken. Neil, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for being with us today, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again really, really soon.
We'll be there, and I'll bet you between now and this time next week something happens we can talk about. I'll bet you.
Do you think that's right?
I'll bet you.
I'll take your money, yeah.
Good work. Don't you, Murray?
See you soon, Neil. More on the Sattler Files real soon.
This is the Sattler Files.